Welcome to the Marketing Sherpa Media Center here at IRCE. I'm Marketing Sherpa reporter Allison Banko, joined by Rob Garf of Demandware. Thank you so much for joining us.
My absolute pleasure. Good to see you.
You're our neighbors here.
Ah. So we've been doing any photo bombs in the background, or we've been behaving ourselves?
Yeah, I'll see that later when I watch the videos. We'll see.
All right.
Tell us what you do at Demandware.
Yeah, so I head up industry strategy, and it's a really fun job. My team gets to really get out in the market, understand what's happening in the industry, and really help influence our product direction to support our clients around the world.
All right, excellent. And you also did a session here at IRCE titled Preserve Brand Value and Relevance Across Multiple Cultures.
Very well done, yeah. I was fortunate to share the stage with one of our clients, Clarence, who talked about how they grew globally, in particular in China.
All right, and looking at e-commerce marketers out there, why is it important to talk about how you're preserving that brand value across multiple cultures? I see here that we have global commerce is growing. It's important to pay attention to.
Yeah, well, first off, you can't not pay attention to it, right? Retailers historically, in how they grew globally, was to have to stand up an entire physical location, retool their entire supply chain, and it was really expensive, right? A ton of capital to be able to do that. And the digital world really allows you to grow across boundaries in a real more efficient way, be able to test different markets, be able to reach new consumers, and ultimately grow the business. And again, you couldn't necessarily do that in the traditional brick and mortar world, but now in the omnichannel world, in the digital world, you're able to do that.
So what's one example that you could give us of how you preserve, I guess, a brand here in America and then China?
Sure. Well, it comes down to culture, right? It comes down to really being entrenched in how the consumers behave and how they want to interact with the brand. And that's different by geography. And so you can't think, being here in the US, that all the marketing practices, merchandising practices, promotional practices will go over in the same way and perceived the same way by the consumers in Germany, in Russia, in China. So one key aspect is to have a local presence in order to be local. So certainly take advantage of all the goodness, all of the scale that retailers create in their traditional geography, but also morph that and make sure it's localized to the consumer in the market.
And in your presentation, you were talking about how Clarence did this.
Yes.
What was their tip for doing that?
Well, you know, the way I like to see it, and it's the other slide that we were talking about earlier today, is that really them and many of our other clients who operate in 49 countries around the world, they have a mantra of balance. And it's balancing this global scalability and efficiency, taking advantage of the economies of scale, while at the same time giving the local resources and presence and operations the ability to be autonomous and also provide the relevance they need. And that's what Clarence has done really well. They have a machine, in a good way, in New York and other geographies in France, who have been able to build a global brand. But what they've done is they've taken that and given the resources in the local markets to really execute the way the consumers like. Han gave a great tactical example of this in China, right? In the US, the way that an address is written on a page is from consumer down to country, right? It's actually reversed in China. And so if you don't understand that and you have your checkout process fashion something that happens in the US in another market, you may risk turning off the consumer, and especially in markets that you're new, they might think you're fraudulent, or you might really hurt your brand perception in the process.
Absolutely, and I think that that's something that a lot of e-commerce marketers are finding, that you can't just translate your web page and, oh, I've gone global.
That's right.
You have to pay attention to the culture, and that's extremely important.
Yeah, you need to pay attention to the culture, and you also need to understand the marketing best practices, and also have understanding of the fulfillment operations and the customer care as well. So it's not as easy as just, and this isn't easy to begin with, but standing up a website. There's a lot of operational and cultural issues you need to get through.
All right, excellent. Focusing on global commerce is definitely an issue that e-commerce marketers need to pay attention to. Rob, thank you so much for honing in on that with us today in the Media Center.
My pleasure, good to be here.
And remember, you can view all of our videos online at marketingsherpa.com/IRCE.